I've read 25 books this year and my goal is 31. So I have 6 books to read in the next 2 weeks. So this is my attempt at knocking down that number. First up, Feel Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. 10 things no one told you about being creative. Here's a quote in the book that says, "The only art I'll ever study is stuff that I can steal from." Which is interesting because I feel like I get different video ideas from so many different things. It could be from a song, it could be from a TV show, it could be from a movie, it could be from another video, it could be from a book. But that's like studying everything. I finished Feel Like an Artist, and I would say it's an absolute must read for anyone who's even in the slightest of creative field, for sure. And then anyone who's not, I think it's a good read. It's fun. It's short, like it was 130 pages, but all the pages are like half a picture and then the other side is words. So it's really like 60 pages of, and then the font is just big and spacing big. So it's just a very quick read. I probably could have read it in like 2 hours, but it's a couple days later. But anyways, so that was good. I think it's, the main point is that Feel Like an Artist, like nothing is original. It even quotes the Bible verse, Ecclesiastes 3 maybe, but it quotes the Bible verse where it's like nothing is original, everything is just a copy of something else. And so, and basically it's like no one is out here saying like, oh, we should boycott Wendy's because they copied McDonald's. Like, no, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Whataburger, Shake Shack, they all do the same thing with a slight twist. And so Feel Like an Artist, it's like copy, basically he says copy someone, will copy a bunch of people until you figure out what is yours and what's your style and what's your vibe. And so he said, if you copy one person, that's plagiarism, but if you copy 100 people, people will say it's authentic or it's original, which is just very interesting. It was great. It gave me the freedom to copy more. Like I definitely have inspiration for these videos of like how I create these videos. But next is Everyday Matters. I've already started it, but I am debating whether to continue. I'm only like 4 pages in, or to start Die with Zero. I'm more excited to read this, but then maybe I should read that so my excitement pushes me to get through that to read this. But I'm more excited to read Die with Zero. So I don't know. What should I read? What should I read? Okay, so I did start this, but I got to a point where I was like, I don't know if that's biblical. So I had a really good conversation with Emmy, my housemate, about like, what does it look like for a Christian to live a fulfilled life? And what does it look like for a Christian to squander their life? And is it even possible for a Christian to squander their life? Because his overarching principles in this book are how to maximize fulfillment while minimizing waste, and then also what's the best way to allocate our life energy before we die, or basically how best should we spend our time before we die. And so I was just thinking about what does that mean for a Christian? Like, how do we maximize fulfillment in this life? Should we be maximizing fulfillment? What does that look like? If so, and so, yeah, I mean, I had a really great conversation about it. So my conscience is clear to continue with the book, but there was some initial hesitation. But I was just at my parents' house. Well, I was reading an email earlier today from Ali Abdal, and he referenced a quote from this book, Show Your Work. And I was like, oh, I have that book. I might as well read it. And so it's very fitting that I just read Steal Like an Artist, and then I have Show Your Work. And so yeah, I figured I should read that today. But also I wanted to see, it's a little longer. It's about 200 pages versus Steal Like an Artist is like 160-ish pages. And I said that I could probably have finished this in 2 hours. So I'm curious to see, can I finish this in like 2.5 hours, because it's a little longer. So I'm gonna do a little reading challenge. But I'm not speed reading. I'm reading for comprehension and reading at my normal pace. And I'll be pausing to think about things and document and write down some of the quotes and whatnot. Currently it is 12:52. So let's set a timer and get into it. I've just finished Show Your Work, and it is currently 3:15. So that was 2 hours and 13 minutes, which is so crazy. It was so quick. I think, yeah, it was great. I highly recommend both of these for anyone in the creative field. I think even Show Your Work is great for someone who's not in the creative field, just in general. I think the concept is a good concept to learn, like, that no matter what you're doing, you should show your work. You should show your process, that people enjoy seeing the process. I even follow someone on YouTube called XXL Scrunchy. I've never bought a scrunchie from her before, but I used to really be into watching all of her videos where she's just processing orders and showing the behind the scenes of what it's like to run her business. And so, I mean, I enjoyed that, and it's just fun seeing the come up story of creators or authors or athletes, just seeing their kind of like hero story arc happening in real life and like being along for the ride. And so that's kind of the general idea of this, is that people enjoy seeing the process. Show your work, get your stuff out there, just create. And then like as you create and share with others, the people that love the stuff that you love will find you, which is fun. So that book is done. Now back to Die with Zero. Also, I read outside for a little bit, and that was just so great. Like the sun was out, the weather was good. It started getting chilly, which is why I came back in. But just sitting outside and reading is just so fun. Wait. Today is not the 20th. Okay. It's the 27th. I thought it might be the 28th, but it's the 27th. So basically, long story short, I haven't finished this. I was trying to finish this by Tuesday, yesterday, 26th, and it is not finished. So I'm pivoting to this. This is Caring for One Another. It says 8 ways to cultivate meaningful relationships. And it is just 70 pages. 71. It has some like discussion as well. So this is a book that I got in my ACBC biblical counseling haul in I think it was my Divine Rivals video, but I really didn't have plans to read it. And so part of me is like, it's great that I'm reading it, I'm about to read it, but also part of me is like, I don't like reading short books just so I can hit the Goodreads goal. But it is good that I'm going to read it, because I had no intention really of reading it anytime soon. So I think it'll be good to read going into the new year, you know. But I have dinner. It is currently 4:30, 4:26, and I have dinner plans at 6. So I'm trying to see, can I finish this before then, and then check off another one on my Goodreads goal. But we'll see. Let's get into it. So basically it is the 27th, and I have 4 books to read in 27, 29, 30, 31, 5 days. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Wait, no, wait. How many books have I read? I'm at 27, yeah. Oh, so 28, 29, 30, 31. So 4 books in 5 days, including today. So let's see if I can meet this challenge. I just finished Caring for One Another. It was great. I didn't end up finishing yesterday. It's the next day. But it was perfectly timed because the dinner that I had with a friend was someone who I don't know that well. And so it was just like well timed to like read this book and then think about like how can we be more intentional with our conversation and deepen our relationship. But it's such a quick read. I rated it 4 stars, would recommend. It's very practical and actionable. And it also speaks to the various fears that you might have when trying to deepen a relationship or talk about hard things. I thought it was very practical and I thought it was just very, I don't know, colloquially written, but also like the examples were things that you legitimately could just like copy paste and say in real life. So would recommend. Now it's on to, well, back to Die with Zero, I think. I was debating whether I should start Everyday Matters. I don't know. Should I start it? Also, today's the 28th, and I just finished my 28th book. And so 29, 30, and then I have to figure out one more. I was debating whether to read like a thriller, something fast-paced. I don't know. Also, all this nonfiction is kind of quite a bit. So I definitely think the next one will be fiction. But which one will be next? 2930 or 2930? 2930. My mom said she wants to read this. She started reading it the other day and I was like, girl, I gotta finish it first. So I'm gonna read it and then I'll give it to her. Oh, and an example of a practical takeaway is that if someone says something to you that's kind of deep, kind of like they're going through it and they share it, you should say something. I think sometimes people just won't, myself included, but like won't say anything or don't know what to say, don't want to say the wrong thing, and out of fear you just like are silent. But it emphasizes like that is like the worst thing you could do is not say anything. So even if you say, how can I pray for you, just even like trying to empathize and saying, oh, that sounds hard, is better than not saying anything. And I think especially in our day and age where there's just so much going on, so much hate going on, like Asian hate, all Black Lives Matter, all that stuff, it's like you gotta say something. Like I think saying nothing, the silence is just deafening. So that's just one practical example from the book, but would recommend. That was good. Would recommend. I would recommend for, this is like not 101, not 102, not 201. This is like 202. Personal Finance 202. Definitely for, and he even says it in the early chapters, like this is not for anyone who has consumer debt, who has credit card debt, auto debt, student loan debt. This is not for you. This is for once you're out of debt and you're investing for retirement. This should be read like maybe after 2 years of investing for retirement. Or if you're in your like 30s, this is a must read. Okay, next book. Everyday Matters. Oh, also, where did my Kindle go? My Kindle, I don't know where my Kindle went, but I did see a book on Goodreads last night, 2 nights ago, that I requested on NetGalley. And so I think that's going to be my final book of the year. And it's, I believe, a romance. But I wanted to read it because it's a strong female lead. And she is like the COO or CEO of like a fintech company or something like that. And so I was like, that sounds up my alley. So that will be next. But first, Everyday Matters, a biblical approach to productivity. 9 a.m. on January 1st, 2024, which is just wild. But long story short, I didn't meet the goal. So basically it was yesterday, New Year's Eve, and I wanted to watch a show with my mom and I wanted to watch some football. And so I was like, I can't do football show and reading. I would have had to just read and forsake the other two, which I didn't want to do. So, and I also felt like I was cramming a bit and I didn't like that. I wasn't like speed reading, but I just didn't like that I was so, I don't know. Ugh, I didn't like it. But the good thing is that I did read 4 books because of this video. So I read Steal Like an Artist, 5 stars, would recommend to anyone in the creative field or doing creative endeavors. Show Your Work, also 5 stars. Again, would recommend to anyone doing any creative endeavors. And then 4 stars for Caring for One Another. I thought it was really great, very practical, very actionable. It has discussion questions in it. But I think it could have gone a little more in depth in just about everything. But it was a great read, quick read. And then Die With Zero, 5 stars, would recommend to anyone who's already investing in retirement. I would say it's best read for anyone in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, anyone before they're dead, but after they've started investing for retirement, I would say. I think this is a great read and I would recommend. It's not Christian, but I would agree with about 92% of everything that's said in here. He just says one thing about investing in your 20s that I would disagree with, but otherwise, it's a great book. How to maximize your life fulfillment and how to do that and like when to do that and what does that look like. And so he gives very practical advice. It's a lot of stories, but yeah, I would recommend. And then I did read a bit in Everyday Matters, did not finish it, have not finished it. I'm about halfway now, but it's been good and actionable so far. It's been good. Definitely a good read to start the year off. But that's all I have. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Goodreads or on Storygraph here. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.